Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Stay With Me. This week we are recapping episodes 17 and 18 of the show.
Stay With Me.
Stay With Me.
Hunty.
Isn't there? Oh,
Giving tea. Body tea. BLT.
Okay, so this week we have
quite a pair
through.
of episodes. Quite a combination.
We have some waiting to do, and we have some dancing to view. Okay.
Work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, previously, the last two episodes that we watched was Sports
Fun.
Day. Nothing happens, right?
Nothing happens.
So we were like,
it's like gonna light sitcom energy.
It's gonna get super dramatic in these ones.
And we were right.
I think it did.
Yep, I would say.
I would say this is more of the dramatic side of the show.
For sure. We know that this is going to be Suyu's mom's episode.
Yeah.
Because she is outside. She's officially or maybe she's not living there. She's officially
She owns
bought the
other
courtyard house.
Courtyard house, yeah.
Okay. And she is placing herself so that she is there when they walk by after school. Now, the first time this happens, Suyu like glares at her and is like, "Don't."
Because she was told by him that if you ever interfere even more, I'm going to tell Wooby about the truth about you and his mom. That basically just means that you knew each other.
Right.
Back then.
Yes. Which could lead to inferences of like, you've purposefully
done this.
Did what you did. So she hides from the boys. Then Moyi calls the brother cousin.
Uh-huh.
For those of you not keeping track, Moyi calls Suyu on his cell phone.
It basically was like,
"Hey, Zaldiva.
How do you like that rent, honey? Mama, how do you like that low interest rate, diva? How's business, bitch?"
And the wildest part of that scene is that nothing comes of it.
Nothing comes of it. It's not brought up again.
He doesn't say to Wooby, "I know what you did.
I know what you did."
Last
Yeah,
summer.
that's the thing. He doesn't even confront Wooby.
Nope. It's so weird.
He like decides to keep it a secret, which I guess then is like, it's not connected, but I'm guessing it's because he's kind of doing this whole thing on his own.
Do you feel like in some ways...
So he's like, I'm going to hold this secret because I know something that... I know he's done something.
Yeah.
So it's like, if this ever come to blows, I could be like, well, I know you did this.
In some ways, there's a real faith in the audience that they will remember things for multiple weeks. Because we've talked about how this is a show where it feels like a television show. It feels like, some episodes have stuff where just nothing happens and it's because you have to fill time. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. But then there's things like this, which I'm like, are you intending for this to be viewed as a binge moment?
Yeah.
Because if you plant this and then in this episode and the subsequent episode, it doesn't even come up. Why are you planting things that early?
Yeah. I mean, they use a lot of flashbacks, but then it's starting to get confusing because now some of the flashbacks they show are just scenes that they're showing for the first time. They're not even flashbacks.
They're just like new information.
They're just new information.
Yeah, they're exposition.
It's like this conversation also happened at that same scene that you just saw.
Yes, it's weird. So
I said this in the reaction, which you can see on Patreon. The thing he said about Wooby and his dad, about like there's a thorn between you two, but once you find out what that is, you can fix it. Mm-hmm. I think he feels that way for his mom too.
Yes.
And I don't think he's going out of his way to like forgive his mom, mm-hmm. but I do think that he's realizing that she may be currently she feels like the only person that might give him the devoted love to him that he's looking for.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he's like, maybe I should give her a chance, especially since I have so many conflicting stories about her that may prove that she might not be as conniving as I thought she was.
Right. Because he has like, everyone feels like they all the characters feel like they view her in the worst possible light. So he goes to see his mom. He asks about Wooby's mom's death. And this is where she starts to be like, I don't know if you're ready for the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know nothing really. And he's like trying to get to the bottom of it. This is the next full 2 episodes. We have left the realm of sitcom. We have left
slice of life.
We have left that. It's all in the past.
It's now Suyu finding out the cause of death for Wooby's mom.
It is now a detective film.
Yeah.
It is now Murder, She Wrote.
And you know what? They're serving genres.
It's Hercule Poirot. Okay, bitch.
Yeah.
Agatha? Miss Christie? She puts the T in Chris. There's the other thing that's happening in this episode is a lot of Wooby and Dodo hanging out. Just a lot of very cute interactions.
Because the parents are now like, they're starting a business, girl. They're like, we're preparing for the soft launch, you know.
They got that Chase Venture card.
Honey, yes, right. They started their business account. They have to put away all of these clearly former Burger King benches and booths.
It's right. It looks like a Burger King. It's so funny. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was, but that's what it looks like.
That's
maybe
exactly
it was, but the production team bought it on surplus. Maybe one closed down.
Maybe. So he has bought her a telescope, and so they go and like look at the stars together. It's a really cute scene. And
she asks him, "Do you see your mom?"
Because people become stars when they
die. And then she's like, "Because I see my dad," and he's like, "Your dad's not dead." And she's like, "Well, it's almost as if
I think of him as dad."
We're like, "Oh my god, girl!"
Duo continues to be a legend and an icon.
She's giving me Yu Jung from Exchange. She's just very clear about her feelings.
She is, yeah.
She's just like...
She's very straightforward.
I want him back, but I also know that he could probably be dead. So I just have made peace with that.
Yeah. Suyu has found out information that seems to go against Wooby's narrative of what happened in the past. So he confronts Wooby and is like, "Hey, would you be mad if I asked you a question about your family?" And he was like, "Anybody else, I would be pissed. But for my
brother boyfriend,
my brother lover, ask away.
Ask away, my babe."
So he asks, how does he know that... Well, this doesn't make sense either.
It doesn't really. What Wooby ends up saying is that I walked in on a conversation about them wanting a divorce.
Yes.
And my mom was asking for
one. And we
one.
get the flashback scene.
He like basically walks in her studio and it's her telling the dad like, "Well, maybe we should just get a divorce," and him like being like, "No, I don't agree. I don't approve." And he's like, "What's going on? Are you guys getting a divorce?" And then he's like, as a kid, was like
3 days later she died.
Yeah. But as a kid, he was like, "It's because you're having an affair with that woman. Everyone knows."
Right.
And so that's what he said. Like, it's because they were having an affair. And that.
But the weird thing is like, I thought the whole thing why Suyu isn't telling him that his mom knew his mom knew his mom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Beforehand was because he didn't think they knew each other. But now it's saying, unless the problem would be like the relationship. They had like a friendship. They had interacted as opposed to it being like an outsider affair. Okay.
That's kind of what I kept getting the entire time. That I was like, my theory was that there's a pact that the mothers have formed. That
I think that's correct.
Makes me believe, because she was the one pushing for a divorce. We think that it was something so that he doesn't get in trouble for something. We still
do not know how this woman died.
No, because they
just
say
know
there's
it was
a car
an accident.
But Wooby has said sickness before.
Yes. So they talk about the divorce. So then Suyu's like rocked again, and he's like,
"What's the truth?
What's the truth?" So he goes back to his mom. And he confronts her on this information. She was like, they were not getting a divorce. He's never spoken ill of her once. They like fully were in love with each other. They would not have gotten a divorce. That did not happen. I know because I live in the graveyard that is their home that I cannot touch.
Yes.
All of this furniture, I agree with Adam. I would like to change, but I unfortunately cannot. And it made me view her in a new light. I'll say that.
She didn't choose all of the ugly furniture.
Yeah. She was like, I'm a mid-cent mod girl. I would never use this.
I love Japandi. I hate all of these ornate styles.
Minimalism, babe.
Yeah. She also kind of, because Suyu's just trying to get like, did you have an ulterior motive? Did you go in wanting to steal him?
Okay, so that's where this starts.
Right.
It all starts with, is there a way for me to clear your name so that really, because my dad has moved on to a new woman, I can have a relationship with you,
and it's
Boop.
Yes.
But
I'm going to say so that your name is cleared from the
whatever.
Social whatever. And
it ends turning into the Pelican Brief. I know. We literally, all of a sudden, we're just trying to figure out, did they know each other? Was there nefarious acts from Suyu's mom's part? That's where we start.
And then all of a sudden, it's a Few Good Men, and like Jack Nicholson is.
There's confidential documents. Yeah. There's like private conversations that need to be had.
Tom Cruise is like reading briefs, like fighting.
Suyu has to like spy into this place later. Like,
she had to go back to the offices and like get memorandums and shit.
Oh yes, girl.
Because she was now like, well, I want to help you because it's actually we're spending time together.
Yeah.
So she's like, let me spy on my husband. And basically, it's like she finds out that.
Do you want me to do it?
Well, let me try and do it and see how close I am. Okay. Because you should be able to just understand from watching.
I feel like we did.
And I think we did.
I think I understand the like problem with the company more than I understand what's going on with the familial situation. Because I really
still don't think about...
Correct.
Within the moms, I still don't understand. And I think they are holding that information. But even like her answering was like, well, obviously, who wouldn't be attracted to someone that's like so rich and whatever? But I just saw how much in love he was with Wooby's mom that I didn't feel like it was right for me to impede. So I just became, a lowly secretary.
Yes.
And, learned economy. I read books on economics and learned business. I don't need all that.
Okay, girl.
Okay. But
I'm glad you went on your own character growth at some point.
Outside of the story, yeah. But then she was like, because she was like, all I did was sing. And the only reason he reached out to me at a bar was because he heard me sing the wife's favorite song.
Yes.
And so he asked me to come sing at that birthday party.
Yes. What's the story with the business? Because you just fully evaded that.
I know. Well, I was trying to answer one thing because you brought up the mom. So I was okay. Well, they've left that still open-handed. Even though they gave us a lot of detail.
Yeah.
They're still hiding.
There's still
something.
Like a why.
Why all go through all this trouble?
Because, not really, because I guess the reason she explains as to why they got married is she says that she just kept like writing to him as a friend. And so he finally like decided he could love her.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I don't buy it.
That doesn't feel right.
I think that may have been what happened in his eyes.
I'm also very unclear on the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline is weird because I don't know. I need like a chart.
It's 2006. I need to know. So Suyu's
I need order of
Wooby's
events.
mom died 6 years ago. She died in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe it was Y2K.
Maybe.
So I need to know when Suyu's mom left Suyu's dad. I need to know when the birthday party was.
Yes.
And I need to know when they got married.
Yes.
Because I think it's more stretched than I think it is.
Because she was saying like, he reached out to me at a time where I was like alone and just like kind of finding myself.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, so you were already separated. But then they have that flashback of her singing at the park to him. And I was like, well, is that when you were still together or was that when you were already separated, but he still had a good relationship with you?
They use the same actor.
Yeah.
From the scene where he's mad that he's giving his mom the photo.
Yes.
And I think it might just be like an efficiency of we've already used this child actor, so there's an established understanding.
Yes. But it's making me hard to understand because I keep thinking all of that just happened in one time 6 years ago. But it's not. I think there's time stretched out in between.
Correct.
Anyway.
What's the tea with the business?
What's the tea with the business?
What's the tea with the death? Because now it's a murder mystery.
Okay, so the company was going to be threatened to tank because they made a faulty investment on like medical supplies that she bought off on. Whoopi's mom bought off on because she was like in charge of that division or whatever.
Procurement or
whatever. But then they found out through snooping of files or whatever that the same supplier supplied the same supplies to a competitor.
Their biggest competitor.
But theirs worked. And did not cause like malpractice and deaths.
Right.
Like theirs did.
And then the stock prices changed.
Stock prices changed. The business was in whatever. And basically and then she died. There was an accident.
Yes.
And then
Suyu's like, it had to be that other company, right? It had to be that
other company, yeah. Who would have known that she was the reason that it happened?
But I don't think it's the other company. I think it's this company killed her.
This company, yeah.
Why would the other company kill her?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, girl.
Yeah.
Or
maybe it's the supplier.
I think the other company...
Maybe it's the supplier because they were found out that like...
Oh, unless it was the competitor bribed the supplier to give bad supplies to them. And she would have been the only person who knew.
So she was going to be like, hey,
because the reason she procured them was because they supplied to the other company.
Yes.
All of this should be very easy to find out, though.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be like...
This would be in the news.
If you can find dupe... if I can go on TikTok and people are like, this is the dupe of this like $7,000 couch or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be able to like, somebody would be able to be like, oh, these are the same parts.
So that's the gist.
You got it.
Meanwhile, Suyu was like, okay, I'm getting all this information. Thank you. Let me get back to you on this because I have to perform a dance with...
Well, he's got a couple things he needs to do. He needs to go visit the trampoline park and he needs to go dance. It's a real 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
It is so glaringly obvious the more we watch the show that they feel bad if it's gonna get dramatic. So they're like, we're gonna give you like 3 minutes of like kindness, sweetness, so you'll still watch the show.
Yeah.
Holding out hope that Wooby puts his little hands in Sue's little waist. And they got me.
And he does put his hands on his little
tiny hands on his alleged tiny waist.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the trampoline party first. I don't know why they're at a trampoline park, but Wooby and Duo are there. Suyu shows up late. Wooby's like, you showed up late.
And he's like, I got a lot on my mind.
There's a lot of like lying going on.
Yes.
Suyu is just fully
trying
to hide everything from Wooby. He should just... The problem is Wooby is such a hothead. He would be like,
he will blow it all off. Yeah.
But like, okay, anyway.
But he is your biggest ally because he actually has like clout over people and has the resources to help.
So,
but he's so stubborn. So he's so stubborn.
But they jump on these trampolines and it's so cute. They fall into this
pit of like foam cubes.
Yeah. And they are like, just like wrestling around. WRASSLINE.
And Duo is literally watching and was like, this is just like my novel.
This is just like my novel. Yes, Wooby discovers Duo's novel that she had been reading, and he's like, you can't read this anymore. She's like, I've read it 6 times. Thank you so much. I have it burned into my memory. You can take the book at this point, but you can never escape the memories from my brain.
Yeah, and he was like, oops.
And then he's like, Hey,
Suyu, I got let's read a novel. Let's Stop studying. Together. Let's read.
Let's read together. Nasty. Suyu's mom gets the incident files, which is what we're calling them, the incident files she goes back to the company, gets them from some guy. We don't even know who this man is. Some guy at the company gives her the files. It is crazy to me that she just waltzes in there and they give them to her. But you know what? Work. Slay. And then he tells her that Wooby's uncle, Mo Ren, is the one who would have the most information about what happened, but he's left the company and won't talk to the Woos anymore. And he has an interesting temperament. So she then tells Suyu this information.
And Suyu's like, oh, Moyi's dad? And she was like, close. Moyi's uncle.
Yeah.
Moyi's dad's younger brother.
It's his, yes. It's her, Wooby's mom's brother.
Yeah.
The oldest brother?
The younger brother.
The younger brother, okay. So the middle brother?
But I don't know if she's older or younger than the two brothers. So it's the younger brother between the two brothers.
Got it.
Who cares?
I'm just trying to paint a picture. I'm trying to paint a picture in a family tree. So Suyu is like, fine.
I'll talk to him.
Then I will go talk to him. And she was like, no, don't. Not trying to put up a fight at all. She does.
She screams.
Absolutely no. She stands up after he's walked out of the room and she's like, Suyu. Well, I tried. I mean, I don't know.
But it's hard because she's like, if I go, then I won't even be let in because I'm literally married to the man that he hates because he's left the company for some reason.
Right.
So Suyu's like, well, he doesn't know me. I am no one connected to this, really, on paper.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It would be very easy to figure out who you are.
And he does. So he was like, I saw your name on your ID and I figured out what's going on.
But before Suyu can go,
he's got to make one quick stop.
He's got to make one quick stop at Dodo's school, where it's Children's Day, which ironically, we are recording this on Children's Day. And him and Wooby are going to perform.
And what do they dance to, Adam?
They dance to a techno version of the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah. When I tell you that RJ and I barely got through watching this, I could not. There is. Girl, this is gay. I don't know what to tell you, girl.
And I don't think we've ever said that about the show because it hasn't been.
It's just
this was the gay turn.
There is one part. It's really the beginning more than the rest.
Yes, because the rest just becomes, like a cute little two-step number.
There is a beginning part where, you know what? The whole beginning. Suyu grabs his hand and goes behind him while giving him sexy eyes. Then they stand facing the same direction. Wooby's behind Suyu. He's grabbing onto his hips and they're swaying their hips together very closely. And then Suyu turns around and then they hold each other and stare face to face as if they're gonna suck faces. And then it kind of devolves into a regular dance.
Yeah.
And the way I was unprepared for this moment.
Yeah.
Because so much, when we started the show last year, so much of the discourse was blah, blah, blah.
Is it
China,
actually
China,
a BL?
China, right? The censors. And I understand that this was not shown in mainland China. This was shown on the internet. Fine. But it is still wild to me because I was fully prepared for it to be a couple of those moments where they get close, the Fujoshi moment from last week, those were going to be the things, and then that was it. This is on par with things that happen in Only Friends, I feel where I'm there's no, you cannot watch this and think it's anything else.
Yeah.
Made even weirder by the fact that Duo is presenting them as her two brothers.
Yes, meet my brothers.
Meet my brothers. Everybody step back. Step back, please.
These are my guckas. Did you write down the name of their group?
I did not. Did you remember?
No, she named them.
Though the Dancing Geminis, wasn't it?
Yes.
The dancing Geminis.
CEO 님 도도.
This is the thing. She's got a real eye for talent.
She does.
Yeah. She's going to be a casting director. She's going to be...
The last episode's going to be a flash forward of like her as an adult. And she's casting a BL. And they're... Because she's so inspired by the novel that she read.
In her youth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, 도도님, 도도 CEO, lao dodo.
Yeah.
Old dodo. Lao dodo, what project are we going to work on next? And she's going to go, a project that I've always wanted to make. And then grabs that
book.
novel.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm going to write this, but I'm going to make it about two very important people in my life. My two brothers.
This show is bonkers. Just as a side note, because this is important information as to why the things happen in this next episode. Old Man Sue and Jolie are now living at the store. Mm-hmm. They have like a bed in the back.
Yes, they're like, we're opening in like a week, girl. There's so much to do.
We have to sleep here until it's ready.
Yeah.
Duo's
with us because she's not sleeping
So the two boys are back at the courtyard, allegedly. They have dinner together. Suyu suggests to Wooby that he should go see his old friends. And Wooby's like, hey.
Yeah, that sounds good. I haven't seen them
in a while. And Suyu's like, my plan is in motion. Suyu now goes to the richest house I've ever seen in my life.
With a whirlpool. With a whirlpool water fountain. Feature.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, it is stunning.
Yes.
He is officially at Mo-Ren's house.
Yep.
And he asks, there's like security detail. 5 or 6 just at the entrance. And he asks, can I go in to see Mo-Ren? I'm a friend of Wooby's. And they're like, let me see your ID. Clock his ID. And they're like, yeah, come on in. So he's like, wow, it was so easy to get in here. He walks in, meets Mo-Ren, and Mo-Ren is like, hello. They don't really exchange anything. He's
like, I know you. I know why you're here.
Yeah.
Come in.
Does not say come in. He's like, I know why you're here. Starts to walk away.
Inside.
Goes inside the house. Suyu goes to follow him, and the security detail's like, oh, no, sorry. He's busy right now. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
They were like, just wait out here till he's ready for you. And he was like, okay. And then we proceed to get, I'm not kidding you, 40 minutes of just waiting. I wanted to claw my eyes out of my skull. I wanted to rip every follicle of hair out of my head. I wanted to... Do you know the scene in Black Swan when she like starts to like take the cuticle and then like it goes all... I wanted to do that. I was so mad that I had to sit through this.
An entire episode just waiting outside a house. And it was like
that's why it was so horny during that dance.
Yeah, because
they were like, I'm so sorry
the girls are going to be cooling off the entire time.
Yeah. So in this water feature.
So horny.
There's a sweet dog who only apparently likes Mo-Ren, but Suyu has charmed.
Yeah.
Suyu doesn't eat. He's not allowed to leave to eat. He is then allowed to leave to eat, but he will not be admitted re-entrance. Mo-Ren comes out multiple times. He refuses to talk to him. Suyu is so stubborn, he just continues waiting. There is a thunderstorm. He waits overnight. He sleeps there. The next day, he still doesn't want to meet with him. Mo-Ren has nothing going on. He's just like, I'm not in the mood for this today. Still wait. Hasn't eaten. At one point during the thunderstorm, he calls Wooby. Actually, let me back up. The first day, he gets a call from Jolie at like dinner time. And she's like, hey, I brought over food. Where are you guys?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're actually at his apartment, just like hanging out. And she was like, oh, I brought over food, but okay. And it's ironically his favorite food, which is dumplings with zucchini and something else, which honestly sounded great. Then later during the storm, he calls Wooby, who's at a dinner party with his high school friends, which is not what high school friends do. He's at a home dinner party, and Wooby answers the phone, and they have like a very interesting conversation that's clearly like Wooby is.
Have you eaten? What are you doing? Are you okay sleeping alone tonight?
Yes. And everyone at the table is like, who are you talking to? And
in this like, manner.
In this manner. He's like, my brother. And they're like, that doesn't make it better, sis. Okay. The phone dies because it's raining and it's a shitty 2006 phone. And then it's just waiting.
More waiting.
To the point that I wondered, because they specifically say by the time he is admitted entrance, 35 minutes later, he is admitted entrance, and they say it's been 3 days. Whenever you're watching something, I don't know if you do this, but when I do this and I'm watching something and a number, specifically a number is mentioned, I am always curious if it means anything, because often they're either like if this was an American thing or a Western thing and they brought out a 3 days reference, I would be like, oh, it's obviously like an Easter. Like there are specific, and I'm not saying like everything is, every 3 is whatever, but like there are things that writers will use as like a cheat sheet for the audience to get what they're trying, like the metaphor that they're trying to put down, right? So then I was like, I wonder if there's like anything. Is there like a famous a parable
of like someone who waited
the man who waited 3 days for the information, he just needed to wait or he waited 2, and if he had only waited a third, he would have gotten the like. I was like, is there context? Is there cultural context that I'm missing? Because this could have been he gets told no, he has to wait, and then we get the SpongeBob SquarePants 3 days later, and then we just cut right to it. But they are committed to showing him waiting, in agony,
walking,
drinking from the fountain, getting kicked into the fountain, being laughed at,
sitting in the rain.
He has to clean his clothes. He has to lay them out to dry. Blah 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 blah. It is. It was very frustrating.
The entire time I was like, I get it. We get it.
No,
we get it.
I totally understand. I get it.
You don't actually have to show us the agonizing 3 days as well.
Yes. So that being said, he finally gets admitted entrance. He sits down. Moren pours tea.
Pour the tea.
Pour the tea. He pours the tea.
It's like, I love this oolong. It's calming.
Of course it is. It's an oolong.
And he's like, do you know why I'm here? And he's like, of course I know you.
I actually thought it was going to be Wooby who came to me first for this information. End of the episode.
It happened. The freeze frame happened and it started to fade. And Adam and I literally were like, whoa! Because we waited. And listen, is that their way of gagging us? Great. I threw up. That's how gagged I was.
Not thrilled. Not thrilled with this set of episodes. I gotta be honest. I gotta be real honest. Who is your MVP for these 2 incredible episodes?
It's obviously CEO Dodo. For the, the creativity.
The goop and the gag.
Yes.
Oh, I did forget to mention, Wooby later finds out from Duoduo that Suyu lied. And it's like, she was like, you've been hanging out with Suyu. And he's like, I haven't seen Suyu in 2 days. And she was like, he told us you were together. And he's like, uh-oh.
So I'm sure he's going to find him. Yeah, fucking Dodo for reading smut and then being like, I have a fun little number you guys can do.
She fully choreographed that
too. I'm imagining that she choreographed. She's like, these pictures I'm forming tableaus from the source material.
Right. It's an expressionistic piece about this book that I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and straddle him. I'm going to say my MVP this week is actually the dog.
The dog was very cute.
The dog was very cute, and it did its job really well, and it barked and was menacing, and then was like very sweet. Oh, Friedrich looked over.
Because he's like, why are you mocking my language?
My culture.
Not a great showing.
Not a great showing. It's interesting because these episodes, when they premiered, it was like 2 and 2, but they were like 1 day apart. So this is the first day of the 2 episodes. So I think it'll be wrapped up tomorrow. I don't know. I actually have no idea. It's weird.
If you all saw this live, did you feel the same way, or were you just like,
people pissed? This has.
I'm going to watch the next episode.
That had to be the low. If I went on my drama list, it has to be the lowest rated episode. It has to. Well, but it has the dance.
But it has. That's what I'm saying. People are probably like, I'm going to put this right in the middle because it's a 5 for the dance and a 0 for everything else.
Yeah. Well,
you know, I really thought Wooby was going to come here and give this recap.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.